Hi, we are Group F. I'm Jay, one of the group members. Nice to meet you. I'm here to talk about our research topic, the rendering self in social media. So our backgrounds toward writing this paper, it's pretty simple. As social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, etc., has changed how we contact and interact with others. Posts and social currency such as likes and comments are the tools for people to communicate on this platform. We've noticed that within our fellow students, they've gotten more anxious and stressed since they stepped foot into the social media world. Feeling stressed out when a post doesn't get as many likes or attention as they wish, and then further on posting content based on comments, or even seek out relatable content to post to get approval. It can be exciting at first, switching life online and offline. However, at times, when we constantly let people online to shape our identity, it's hard not to get affected by it and eventually feel anxious and get lost in the social media. Therefore, our group is going to look at this problem in more of a psychological way, applying theories by Jacques Lacan, a famous French psychoanalyst. So basically, Lacan stated that in our human psyche, we people live in between these three orders: the imaginary, the symbolic, the real. We live in between these areas since the moment we've been born and live long until we die. The real order talks about there's a level of unconsciousness deep down in humans since the moment we've been thrown into this structured world. Within this unconsciousness, there is a ginormous lack, this unquenchable desire that is untouchable. In Lacan's word, after a baby is being born, the wholeness of the mother's uterus is being torn apart. Since then, when this person is living in the conscious level, which is the language structured world, there will be a lack in its unconsciousness, trying to push him to construct his ego in the conscious world. These images, these imaginary egos in Lacan's vision is just a fantasy. All these images are self-created. It's just an image, which is the second order, the imaginary order. At last, the symbolic. In here, symbolic is the language structure world I've been referring to. The language system world have all the limitation and pro-given rules to shape our consciousness of ego. In fact, the imaginary and the symbolic order have a lot to do with the concept I'm about to cover, which is the mirror stage. Basically, the mirror stage is talking about, theoretically, infants start to see a reflection in the mirror at the age of 6 to 18 months. This reflection is referring to the imaginary order, where infants start to have a basic concept of their own image of ego. By the influence of the gaze from either the caregivers or the language system, so-called the other, the ego image in the mirror starts to experience a ever-ending process of constructing and deforming. Due to the gaze from external factors, the subject is constantly reshaping its image in order to not only temporarily fulfill the lack in our unconsciousness, but also interact with the language system. Now, applying this back to our topic regarding anxiety in social media, we found out that our screen, whether it's a phone screen or a computer screen, the screen is the mirror, while the posts on social media are the images. The image is created by the interaction between the gazer and the gazed. Here, the gazer is referring to the likes and comments, the audience on social media, while the gazed is the subject, the user on the social media. However, from time to time, not only the subject is gazed by likes and comments coming from a ginormous audience, but the ego gets caught within the urge to search for completeness. It slowly appears an unstable relationship between the gazer and the gazed that eventually leads to anxiety of the subject. At last, in order to regain our control over the rendering self, having a neutral but also independent and dynamic mindset is the key. Only when we keep a balance between both real and cyber world and also get a clear understanding of the relationship between the subject and the other, can we position ourselves stably and safely within this complex interplay of social media. Well, that rounds up our brief introduction of our research paper. Hope you enjoyed the rest. Thank you.